Hey everyone, this is my follow-up testimonial to the sinus surgery that I had 3 years ago, and you can watch that video. I put it up in 2009, so about mid-November I had a maxillary antrostomy, a bilateral ethmoidectomy, and a reduction on the middle turbinates. He had also said that he was going to do a procedure because he said I had a deviated septum to the right, but then when he got in there, he said that it wasn't causing too much of the problem, so he didn't do anything. And really, I think what everybody wants to know is it worth it? Is having sinus surgery going to fix my sinus problems? And the answer is yes. The surgery is worth it. It was worth it for me, but I think that we want to kind of review what your expectations are from this surgery so you're not disappointed with the result. So again, I said that I had these 3 procedures done, and he drilled out these spaces in here. I'm going to put a photo up, but he drilled out those spaces. And he said he had a 2 millimeter drainage window, and he drilled it out to 10, which I thought was excessive. He said it would probably scar down to 7. And then the fluid in the sinuses that was being trapped and causing all that kind of congestion would be able to appropriately drain down, and that I wouldn't be, sick for those long periods of time. As I was kind of going through, when I would get sick, I'd be sick for weeks, months. And I never really felt like it went away. I always just felt like something was up there lingering, just kind of waiting to come back. So I did note that the surgery was helpful. It was helpful in the sense that all the congestion that was being trapped up here, I couldn't blow my nose appropriately. Nothing would come out. Hopefully that's not too gross, but it's not. If you have sinus problems, if you're watching this video, it's because, you can't breathe, you're constantly kind of, and choking and just, it's miserable. It's miserable. And so you go to the surgeon because you're fed up. I was fed up, taking antibiotics and Mucinex D and nasal sprays and squirting salt liquids up my nose and neti pots and all the crap that goes with having chronic sinus problems. So if you're watching this video, it's not gross, it's just your reality. And it was mine as well. So you have these symptoms, you may have the headaches and the facial pain. That's was one of my biggest symptoms, facial pain, and fatigue, and all these things just kind of interfere with quality of life on a consistent basis. So now that I've had this surgery, the congestion is better. I'm able to sleep better. When I get sick, and if it's an upper respiratory infection, I am able to kick it faster, and I don't have to take the meds. And I can also, I can also smell the coffee in Brazil. He drilled out this space so much. Everybody wants to know, did he fix my nose, or did I look different, or nothing quite so dramatic. That would have been nice, but no, it didn't change what my face looked like before I went in. So those were the good points. Hopefully you got those, but the bad points, or what you don't want to expect, is that if you're sick very frequently, that it's going to change how often that you're sick. So if you suffer from low immunity, then you're still going to continue to suffer from low immunity, and those little viral things and colds and sore throats and all those little things that come along. Yes, you're still going to get them. And I know it's logical, just because they're drilling out of space doesn't mean you're going to be sick less often, but I had kind of hoped for that. I suffer from low immunity as well. But it's not going to happen. So nutritionally, you got to get yourself squared away and keep your stress levels low. And that's a whole nother blog. That's a whole nother rant for me, which I will spare you at this time, since we're going to focus on the what you're going to get and what you're not going to get from the sinus surgery. So the second thing I would say that I thought might improve but didn't was the chronic facial pain and the chronic, headache. For me, I didn't get sinus headache quite as much, but the facial pain I always got, which just makes you really kind of edgy, that's still there. Disappointing. If you're looking for the facial pain to go away, it's not going to happen. I thought maybe if I was congested less and there were less irritants up there all the time, that it would be of assistance, but it wasn't. I can still tell you when it's going to rain, and I can tell you it was almost a little bit worse post-surgery, smelling cologne and perfume and scented this or that. It's going to drive you nuts, and it drives me nuts, still does. I know in my last breath I was talking about smelling the coffee in Brazil, as coffee is not an irritating smell, at least to me it's not. That doesn't bother me. But anything that bothers you before is going to bother you in hyperdrive, I think, after the surgery. I think that was probably almost a drawback. It was the same or a little bit worse. It's nice to be able to smell everything, but stay out of the department stores in the mall where those ladies are spraying perfume and garbage near you, because it's gonna light you on fire. So unfortunately, you can't look for those basic sinusitis symptoms to go away. It's not gonna happen. They're not going anywhere. So anyway, those were the two things you thought might happen that aren't going to happen. You're still going to have facial and headache pain, and you're still going to get sick. If you're one that got little colds and things, you're still probably going to get them. But on the positive end, it was worth it, because I always felt like my head was kind of going to explode, and I was just fatigued and felt awful all the time because I could never truly get rid of that congestion that would just sit up there. And he said it would sit because it couldn't drain. And I drain very well now, and it definitely cuts down the length of upper respiratory illness, whatever it is. It cuts down the length, that's for sure, because you can blow out your nose, you can clear it. So I think when you sleep better and you're sick, not as long as you would have been, that's a positive outcome. They're there to widen the space. They're there to structurally make your sinuses more efficient. And that's what they can do. And for me, it was good. I was a good candidate, not having any allergies. So I hope that, if you're considering surgery, that this was helpful for you. I'm open to any questions you might have at any phase in your process of choosing surgery. And I do these, blogs or video logs or whatever, because I think that the ones that I've watched on YouTube have been extremely helpful, and it's nice to have a support community out there. So thank you for watching the video. Hit me up with any questions, and I really wish you best of luck on your surgery. Take care.